it all so brand new. Don't close your eyes, cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the rhythm of the night. There's something in the air you can't deny. It's been fun, but now I got to go. Life is way too short to take it slow. But before I go and hit the road, I gotta know to them. When can we do this again? When can I see you again? When can we do this again? I gotta know. When can I see you again? When can I see you again? Turn at the hip, yeah, your psychic needs you. Life is a trip and the road map leads you. Look all around at the mountains you haven't climbed. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the rhythm of the night. There's something in the air you can't deny. It's been fun, but now I got to go. Life is way too short to take it slow. But before I go and hit the road, I gotta know to them. When can we do this again? When can I see you again? When can we do this again? I gotta know. When can I see you again? Don't close your eyes, cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the rhythm of the night. There's something in the air you can't deny. So let me know before I wave goodbye. When can I see you again? When can we do this again? When can I see you again? When can we do this again? Yeah, it's been fun, but now I got to go. Life is way too short to take it slow. But before I go and hit the road, tell me when can I see you again? When can I see you again? When can I see you again?
Hey everybody, welcome to Gootz's Disney Pod. I'm your host, Ray Gootz. We are now into the year 2012. We are in a double threat of a movie, both about fucking animation and video games. Wreck-It Ralph. I'm here with a very funny comedian from PA, Adam Nutter. Adam, how are you, buddy?
Yo, what's up, man? What's going on?
How are you?
Thanks for having me. Just literally doing nothing.
Okay. Yeah, you said that beforehand. So.
Yep, literally doing nothing, just hanging out. No comedy going on really. So.
Okay. Now, is comedy banned in Pennsylvania like it is here, or can you do it?
It's not banned. It's like you could do outside shows and stuff too. No one's really doing inside shows because capacity is like 25%, so it's like not really worth it, I guess, to do
Okay.
any inside shows. I did one inside show and I did no, I did two. I did one inside show in PA and I did one inside show in Delaware, and that's it. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I did so far, man. It's rough.
Yeah, I'm starting to produce my own outdoor show in my yard. I did like 2 of them to start, and now I'm gonna do one every Saturday, one every Friday, and it's going pretty good. I'm actually getting people. So
I saw the you post that. I was like, that's a good idea. I wish I had like the space.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck it. I have the room, and I was like, I was very cautious all these months, and I didn't rush back in like a lot of other people. But at this point, I'm like, you know what? Like, people are out and about all the time in New York now, and at least where I'm living. and the numbers haven't really gone up. The numbers are still up the rest of the country, but they're not really up here. So it's like, you know what? Let me fucking enjoy my life, because like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be dead soon.
Listen, man, I agree. Pennsylvania's down too. Like with
Mhm.
everything's down here, but they just won't open the state up. It's like, all right, I don't know. You
Yeah,
know?
so I'm like, yeah, well, they're really being Nazis now about like fucking
Yeah.
bars. You can't even have like darts. You can't even have like an outdoor dartboard in New York
Well,
City.
dude, I mean, listen, man, it's funny I'm wearing a libertarian hat right now just by happenstance, but like I just feel like the government overreach is like crazy with all of this stuff. I'm like, I don't know. It's like out. You shouldn't like. Didn't Al Tucher get shut down for the outside comedy show that he was doing?
Yeah, but now he's doing shows in the park for free. So if you have a liquor license, you can't put on a comedy show in New York City.
Wait, if you have a liquor license, you just can't put one on.
You just can't put one on.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay.
But like, I think like I'll be okay because I don't have a liquor license, and you can't charge a
Right.
cover. If you charge a cover, you're a piece of shit. So you have to
Okay.
have it be free, and either be in public properties. I guess you can argue that it's your right to assembly, or I guess with me, like my private property, where I can
Private
say,
property, yeah.
I could say like we're just practicing or something. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get arrested.
Nah.
But
You'll be
like,
alright.
but you know what? It's just like, you know what, guys? If you just all had a fucking plan in March and all came together, like, all right, listen, the whole country has to stay down from here to here, and then we'll reopen here to here. It wouldn't be like this because everybody just did whatever the fuck they wanted, and now like we can't really, you know, we're still not on the same page as a country. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I mean, when are we ever though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's when you have 350 million people and a 3,000-mile wide acre of land.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, I mean, it's pretty obvious that everyone's not going to be super copacetic with each other all the time. It's so many different people, so many different walks of life. You know, again, like New York and LA crowd do not live like the Kansas and Ohio crowd. It's just like
Exactly.
everyone's so different, man. It's like of course people are gonna do what they want.
Yeah.
Like of course, because everyone's like, well, fuck you, and it's like, all right, I don't know. It doesn't help that like the science, literally everything is different all the time. Like there's no
Yeah.
consistency anywhere, like anywhere. So there's really no one person to blame, like legitimately, like because it's like, well, this guy said that. It's like, okay, well, that guy said that.
Mhm.
He's a scientist too.
Yeah, I
So
know.
like, what are we doing?
People are really mad at the politicians in New York, and I'm like, you know, this is not a response to anything we're doing. This is more a response to what happened in Florida and Arizona when they opened indoors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you can't yeah, you're right. No one's really to blame. It's just everyone's like guessing, and we don't really have a definite answer on anything. So
Because like I just saw the NFL had 77 false positive tests for COVID.
mhm.
All 77 were fucking negative. Were actually false positive. So if that's happening, obviously,
Yeah,
extrapolate that out. So you're probably getting a lot of false positives too. You know, so it's like, I don't know, man. Where is the science on it? It's so fucking imbalanced and it's so everywhere. No one's right. Like no one's right. Like that's
Yeah.
all I know. I don't know one's right.
yeah. No, it's pretty crazy out there. But at least now are the movie theaters open by you, or is it still
Nope.
drive-ins?
Just drive-ins, man. And which is funny because like you keep seeing like commercials for like New Mutants, and then it's like only in theaters. It's like where?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
where?
I was gonna go Friday night. I was gonna go upstate to see. I'm kind of annoyed because I was gonna go upstate to see New Mutants, and then my one friend who like drives and he's into this shit is like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to go anymore. I think I might have to like go away." And I'm like, "Dude, you're my only way to see this fucking movie." Like,
Is it drive-in?
Yeah, in upstate New York, Warwick. Yeah.
Okay.
There's just gonna be some drive-ins, but I'm just like, this is like, dude, I know this movie's gonna suck. Can you just fucking put it out on like on demand, like on iTunes or something?
You know what's funny? Did you watch the Harley Quinn movie, The Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I did. That was the last movie I saw in theaters, actually.
Did you like it?
I liked it, but I didn't. I can understand people didn't like it because it wasn't really Harley Quinn. First of all, it wasn't a Birds of Prey movie. They called it Birds of Prey.
Right.
And Black Canary was not Black Canary. That was just,
Right.
And same thing. Like Cassandra Cain is Batgirl in the comics, and she's
Right.
just cheesy chick. I think it would have been better if they just called it the Harley Quinn.
I agree. But like, it's funny. I waited so long to watch it. Like, this movie definitely sucks, right? And then I just watched it with my wife on HBO Max the other day,
Mhm.
and I was like, honestly, it was better than Justice League. Like,
Yeah, it was, yeah.
it really was. It really was. So it's like, you know, I didn't hate it like I thought I was gonna hate it, but it wasn't like an awesome comic movie. It was like, all right, this is a fun watch. You know, I chalked up to like a fun watch, and
Yeah. No,
You know.
you know who I really liked in it? Ewan McGregor as Black Mask.
dude, but I feel like they underutilized the Black Mask villain in that
Yeah,
movie a lot.
yeah, they
But
did,
Victor
yeah.
Zsasz was cool though.
He was cool. Yeah, I just kind of wish, like, you know what, like that's not Black Canary,
I know.
and like I don't know. It's just like if you're gonna do it like that, then just don't have her in the movie. Just don't like.
I know. Huntress was like the most, I guess, two compa character they kept like
Yeah.
from screen to. I mean, the most like kind of without altering anything crazy. Like no, assassin, uses the crossbow. Like
Mhm.
wears purple and black. That's her. That's Huntress. Like that's pretty much her character. But I didn't hate it like I thought I was gonna hate it. But I am excited to see the Snyder 4-hour.
I mean, I'm excited to shit on it because I hated Batman. Did you like Batman v Superman? I hated that
No,
movie.
it was terrible.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah.
No.
The weird thing is he goes like people that don't, my movie's for grown-ups. I'm like, what are you talking about? My movie has complicated ideas, and it's like, dude, I feel like he makes movies for 13-year-olds that never left for 35-year-olds who never left Hot Topic. I mean, I still
Yeah, I would say that. First of all, Nolan's Batman were way more like
adult.
cerebral than fucking
Yeah.
Snyder's Batman. Like,
Mhm.
shut the fuck up. Like, that
Yeah.
is crazy thing to say. Yeah, no, but I do. I mean, Darkseid looks pretty cool. I mean, that was definitely the better villain choice.
Yeah, Darkseid looks cool, but I read a rumor years ago, and if he ends it like this, that Wonder Woman and Aquaman get their heads chopped off at the end of this movie.
The who?
Wonder Woman and Aquaman are supposed to get their heads chopped off.
That would be what? How the hell do you bring that back?
I don't know, but like, why would you? It's just, and then like they become evil thralls of Darkseid. Like it's supposed to be like it's supposed to lead to a trilogy where Darkseid takes over the planet. And
Oh, I mean, I think with the hype Wonder Woman keeps getting, I don't know if they're gonna kill her off. Like,
but see, I could see him being a little bitch and be like, "No, I want to chop her head off. It was my plan."
right. Yeah, I'm so fucking witty and gritty and
I
meta. It's
could
like,
see
all right,
them
dude.
being like, okay, so like, because I could see them being like, okay, this director's cut is a different world than the other. I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
Well, did you hear that with the Flashpoint? So that's what they're opening up like all the worlds. So I think
Yeah.
like,
They already started on a TV series.
right. So I think maybe even like the new Batman, like Pattinson's Batman, that might
Mhm.
be a different
That's a different world,
world, right?
part
Because
of the
that's
multiverse. Yeah.
year 2 Batman that's
Mhm.
covering. So I don't know. It is interesting.
And the thing about the Flashpoint movie is he's gonna start calling himself Flash because he got the name from Grant Gustin in the TV crossover. So already that movie's starting with a reference to the TV show.
I didn't watch the crossover on TV. Was it good? Was it like
It has good parts. Google Grant Gustin meaning Ezra Miller. Just watch
okay?
that scene because that scene's gonna be. But it had good parts. It had good ideas. Like, it connected everything. I mean, like they brought back Robert Wool to play. He's like in 1989. They brought back John Wesley Snipe, who played Flash in
Right.
1990. They tied it into Titans. They tied it into the Wonder Woman series from the 70s. But it was all as Smallville, but it was all very brief. The tie-ins, it wasn't long.
Right.
I would have had it be more of like an Avengers team where it's like Tom Welling and
Right.
like I would have had more of like a multiverse DC Avengers, Burt Ward, like more involved. Like instead of Burt Ward just like kind of standing in the street corner with his bat and like, "Holy red skies of death," which is what he says. But maybe they're waiting for. Maybe they want to do that. Maybe they're like, no. Maybe when they were doing this, they had that idea, and the movie people were like, no. Let's save that for Flashpoint. Or let's bring back Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck and everybody for Flashpoint. And do it.
Right. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And Flash is like always has been one of my favorite heroes, like in the comic book series.
I know.
Like,
I just hate Ezra Miller as him. I just hate him. I like Grant Gustin as him.
I do like that show is just like so. I mean, it's on CW, so it's obviously like
It started off good, and then
it
just
did.
Like,
It
they
did.
don't leave
I
the
used to
lab
watch it.
anymore.
Mm,
It's like a play. They never leave the Star Labs, and I don't
right.
even know how they pay for that fucking giant building.
Because again it's on CW, so they're like, this is gonna be like a soap, like a superhero soap kind of thing, and it's like, I know, but like you're kind of ruining the Flash for me. It's like
Yeah. No, it started off very good, and I think if they didn't start the idea of the multiverse on the season 1 finale of Flash, I doubt we'd be getting this movie. With Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, but they kind of like moved away from the comic and went to more CW stuff. They started off very comic booky, and then they moved away from that.
It did.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. There's so much in the Flash book that you can take from, and now it's just like I like you, but I like you, but I like you.
I know.
Like every CW show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm convinced there's like a fucking executive on this set that like pushes for like teen heartthrob bullshit.
Can't be shit. Because like the villains in all the Flash, every single villain was like lame as fuck.
Yeah.
Like even the acting was like, oh, I'm gonna get the jewel. It's like, what are we doing? It's it's like it's so over the top, campy. It's like, come on, man, just make him fucking kill somebody. Like, what are you doing? He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I know DC is like such a weird company right now. I mean, that's why like I'm kind of hoping if Disney would buys them, because like it's the characters are like kind of corny and wholesome. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they're trying so hard to be like really ultra dark, and I feel like some of these characters kind of breaks them. Like Aquaman can't be like a really dark fucking character because
Right.
it's Aquaman, you know?
It's Batman, and that's kind of like the only character out of all the Justice League that should be really fucking dark.
Yeah, and like when he's like shows up in Plastic Man and like fucking Elongated Man, I'm just throwing like he's got to be a little bit not as dark because it breaks Plastic Man and the other characters to be as dark as him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish sometimes I wish because like just my extensive comic book knowledge and nerdom, someone from like Marvel or DC would be like, hey man, you want to like help write something?
Oh. That's the thing about that's what annoying about Batman v Superman. I just feel like anyone could have wrote the hackiest script and like not even tried to make it bad. It would have made a better Batman v Superman.
Just follow the Frank Miller book better. How about that? That was great.
You could even take one of their team ups from the 40s and just literally adopt it word for word, and it would have been a better movie than that.
Because like the armored suit looks sick. It looked just like the Frank Miller, armored suit that he drew, or whatever the concept. I was like, all right, but then everything else is just like
trash,
everything was
just trash, and it's just like, dude, like in 1970, if they were like, you know what, Adam West is gonna be we're gonna make a new movie with Adam West. He's gonna fight Superman and the Green Lantern. That would have, even if the effects were corny, that movie would have made $1 billion. Like at any given point in history, they could have made this movie, and it could have been incredible. And the fact that we waited so long, and it was so bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. It's like again, they took the concepts of like the great Frank Miller work with the like, oh, kryptonite fucking gas grenades, but then like they could have added, because like I don't know, no Green Arrow was in it, right? Because he's not in it. Like I mean, no Green Lantern. Like it's just so many elements missing. Like no Carrie Kelly.
But also, I don't like Batman's whole thing. Like, if there's a 1% chance he could be evil, I gotta beat the shit out of him. And I'm like, well, that's kind of like the argument you can make about Muslim people after 9/11. There's a 1% chance that this guy can clean. I gotta fucking shoot him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the chance that everybody literally has. Like anybody could be evil.
Yeah, anyone could be evil. So why don't you just shoot everyone in the fucking head?
Yeah, it's like, well, we're going with that crazy logic. You're right.
It was like so weird. It was another point I wanted to make about that.
How about World's Greatest Detective couldn't figure out that his mother's name is also Martha? Like,
oh yeah, that's the reason why they stopped hiding each other. Martha. Oh my god. And then Luther was all wrong. I really thought when they cast him, like, oh, if they just do him like he was in The Social Network, that'll be great, because kind of like billionaires are kind of like trying to right now, like the new era billionaires. They're trying to kind of be like, I'm your best friend, GW,
right?
Wow, I'm just a regular guy,
right?
And that would have been cool. Like Luther is just like, but he's actually like a super evil motherfucker. And no, he just played him like a Batman '60s villain.
Right. Yes. 100%. I would have liked to see him play almost like like a fucking Mark Zuckerberg character, where he's very like lizard-eyed, very just like very deadpan almost.
The opening, if they ever do like Luther again, the opening scene should be Luther's on Joe Rogan's podcast.
That's a brilliant.
Yeah.
That really is a brilliant idea.
Bullshitting with like a Tim Dillon and a Luis Gomez, and like, oh, this guy's cool. He's like being down to earth, and everyone thinks he's cool. Then he like gets in his limo and goes like his underground lair where they're like building fucking like kryptonite like bizarros and shit. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, like, because that's what he would do. He would just be like, yeah, dude, I smoke weed. I'm fucking down with you guys. You know what I mean?
Get down with you.
Yeah, I'm not judging you. I'm just here to spread
And
love.
then he's really just trying to figure out alien tech and
Yeah.
an underground
I'm just
bunker.
saying,
Yeah.
like, I don't got a problem with Superman, but it's just like, I don't know, like, who made him judge, jury, and executioner? You know what
No,
I'm
I'm
saying?
just trying to invent a weapon to fucking end his life. I don't understand the big deal. I'm a good guy here. I'm cool.
Dude, your reaction to the opening scene as Luther's on Joe Rogan means like they have to do it. They have
That was
to.
such a good idea. I
Yeah.
genuinely, I would be like, I would have told you that sucked. Or like that was
Yeah.
genuinely a good idea.
It's a good.
Because how you
That's what he
pitch the
would do.
character. Because how
Yeah,
you pitch the character, right?
That's how he would go to like reach people now, especially if he wants to.
It wouldn't make sense if he was on Rogan as the character he played in the movie.
No, but like the new
Right.
Luther should be like.
100% agree with you. That's a good idea.
I'm down to earth. I'm with you guys. Like
That's such a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, not like I'm gonna destroy the world. I'm so evil. Like that's not. Yeah. So let's start. Let's get to know you at another. We're talking all about DC. This is a Marvel. No, not Marvel, but it will be a Marvel one day when we get to those movies. But it's a Disney. Adam, what? How long have you been doing stand-up?
7 years.
Okay.
Well, we'll do 8 actually this year. This year's 8.
Okay.
So
Okay.
8.
Some people aren't counting this year. I'm like, count it. Fuck it. I don't care.
I am counting this year. This is why I'm counting 8.
Yeah. We did a show together in 2000.
We did. That's right. We did early January. I did a few shows in early January, February, March. That's it.
Back when we still had hope.
Yeah.
What got you into stand-up?
I was always like I was a bullied kid, and I always drifted to joking around to get out of because I didn't like the whole me learning how to fight and mixed martial arts part of me came when I was like 18. So before 18 years old. Oh yeah, I'll fuck anybody up. Like I learned at 18 because I was over getting bullied.
Okay.
So like 18, so 18 till from 18 till like 25, I trained. I fought amateur for like a year, but that was all from getting bullied as a kid. Because like I'm 33 years old, and dude, you were back in the 90s. Spider-Man shit wasn't cool, man. Like
no, it wasn't.
And I was right.
Dude, you know what really wasn't cool? It was the Avengers. I used to get made fun of by the guy at the store. Why are you buying this shit? And I'm like, I just spent $40. I'm fucking 14.
Yeah, it's like people don't get it. It's like all these kids now, they just walk right into like, oh, this is cool. This is accepted. I got beat up for that nerdum. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to earn that shit. So, so I always went to comedy as my outlet because, I didn't know how to fight. I couldn't fight back. Even though I played football I was really good, all that shit, none of it mattered. I was still bullied. Like, none of that mattered. Like, it was crazy. I was like, I thought this would make me not bullied. I'm good in this thing. And they're like, nah. I was like, all right. So I started listening to, like, Opie and Anthony when I was really young because I'm from Staten Island. I live in PA now, but I'm from Staten Island. So I got into, like, Norton, Patrice, O'Neill, like that crew, and I just fell in love with stand-up. And then at 18 years old, I was like, oh, I'll give this a shot. My very first open mic at Comic Strip.
Okay.
And I met Roz there. I think she's still there, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who knows now?
Who knows?
Who knows what's gonna happen? So.
But then I took a break from like 20 to 26. I took a break, and then I got back into it 27 full time, and that's why I say 8 years because like the last 8 years I really count. Well, that was it. That was my intro into stand-up comedy. I fell in love with it after my first open mic. I was like, oh, I want to do this forever. I just fell in love with it. And that's, pretty much it.
And you're stationed in PA. You're running a show. What made you decide to, like, go out to PA?
Because you got married.
I mean, I know that, but the
Yeah. I got because she lives right. We live right outside of Philly. Like
does she work as a nurse, or did I imagine that?
Teacher.
Okay, all right. So
yeah. Yeah, she works 5 minutes from where we live, so she has it pretty made. And like again, New York is only an hour from me, and by train it's even quicker. So like it's not far. So even when I had to go do stand up in New York, it's like not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not. That doesn't matter anymore. But when it wasn't a big deal.
I think you're gonna be doing more shows.
100%. Yeah.
Than anybody in New York. So I think you've actually made the long term. I think you made the right move. So.
Well, just happenstance. I mean.
Have you ever done the Church of Satire? Did you ever talk?
No, a few of my friends have.
Okay.
They have. I should probably just ask to fucking do it.
Yeah, if he's open. Is he open?
Yeah.
Or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. I did that. in the winter. I got sick because the guy I did the show with had the flu, and he got and I got sick. I got sick doing that show, but like it was nice. The town they had was okay. They had a fried chicken place in a gas station. It was like it wasn't Sheets, but it was just all fried chicken.
Is it in Lancaster technically, or
for-
no?
I forget where it is. It was like a little small town.
Because
They
I can't
had,
remember if it's Amish country or not.
hold on, I met a guy at there that has a video game store, and I follow him on Instagram. I'll tell you right now where it is. Vault Rob something. Vault. Rob. Okay, where is this? Oh, Hanover.
Oh, Hanover, right? Okay.
hmm Is that near you or no?
Oh,
Right?
that's outside of Philly, I believe. To the
Yeah.
left of Philly. It's like left
Mhm.
of Philly. Yeah, so not really. I mean, it's not far. Like it's it's like an hour and a half, probably hour and a half drive, probably. Probably hour
Yeah.
drive.
Hanover. Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was just funny because the apartment they gave me was so small. And I was like, with this comedian that had the flu. What is?
Yeah, I know. I mean, Neil and I can't even run our shows because the fucking bar can't, hold the occupancy. So
Oh, but
like,
your bar, yeah, but your place is easy to get to. So
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that place was not so easy to get to. And you guys had people, but anyway, that was a whole other thing. Actually, Friday they had nobody. Saturday they had a packed house, so and they were an awesome crowd.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That the Chalfon show we run, we've only maybe didn't sell out 2 or 3 times out of all the
Okay.
shows we've done there, and like we're very lucky. Like we are lucky. It's a good community.
What's the name of the bar? Because I want to tell people about it while we're doing.
Oh, the Poppin'.
Poppin'. Are they open? Are they allowed to do indoor? Or are they just outdoor?
They are dining, but again limited capacity and stuff.
But inside.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're a listener and you're in Pennsylvania, go to the Pop-In Bar, especially if you're a Disney fan and you're only listening to this because you like Disney. You don't give a shit about stand-up. That bar is the coolest fucking bar that you've ever been.
Coolest bar ever. It's literally
Coolest
just
bar.
from head to toe, 2 floors decked of all nerd shit. Comic books, not comic books, anything nerd, they have it in there. On the walls, TVs are constantly playing like movies and like
Mhm.
animated shows. They even play like movie soundtracks through the loudspeakers, and we do the show on the second floor, which is a sick spot.
Yeah, I think I was performing next to a poster of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And the room, basically the green room where me and Johnny and a few other people were waiting, was the Disney room. And the bathroom I would use was a Maleficent themed bathroom.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. So if you're into Disney and you want to go out, that is the place to fucking go right now.
It's in Chalfont, PA. It's a southeast PA. So if anybody listening, go check it out. Give them some business.
Give them some business. That place was great. The audience was good. And hopefully, are you going to have your show back when things are more or less normal, or they don't know?
Yeah. When they could fill up again, we're gonna go back in there. But there's no outside space for a show there. So I'm trying to find a spot to do like an outside, but it's hard, man. Like it's hard to find a room.
I'm surprised there's no. I would think because PA is so much more rural. There'd be bars with like little mini beer gardens or something.
They do have them, but the problem is like that's all the space. Like they have.
They don't want to do comedy. Yeah.
Well, they're converting the only outside space they have to sit people to make money. So then like they're not going to be like, or we're doing a comedy show Saturday night with like a restaurant when they're like, we need to fucking just feed people. Like.
And are they doing this in PA? Because they do this in New York. So now they're taking away parking spots. Like, let's say you have a bar, right?
Yeah.
They're taking away the parking spots for the bar. You can build like a little patio.
A lot of places are doing that.
They're doing that. Okay, because I didn't know if they were doing that.
Yeah.
Too. Okay. Because I'm surprised. Like some of these bars were like in the middle of nowhere on the road. I would drive by. Just make the whole parking lot like a fucking little mini.
I agree. I mean, yeah, because my parents still live in Staten Island, and they were here not too long ago, and they were like, "Yeah, we still can't eat indoors."
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking crazy.
A lot of bars are getting very creative with how they're using their space out here. I'm just surprised because PA, there's so much more space. You'd think they'd be a lot more creative. But
so how are the LOS guys able to do that shit in front of the stand then?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just think, you know what? We all know about this. I don't think the regular person on the street knows about it. They just better hope no fucking neighbor that lives near the stand reads up on the rules. Cause
I know. That'd be a bummer. Because like,
I need one educated phone call and the stand's done. Yeah. I mean, But I think that, most people out in the real world don't follow up on the state liquor alliance rules.
That's probably whatever.
So, Adam, you said you were bullied as a child. How was your childhood in Staten Island?
I mean, it was heavy into sports, a lot of sports.
Mhm.
But again, that didn't stop the bullying. Outside of my circle of friends I had, it was a normal Staten Island fucking Italian.
The mafia came by every now and then and like put a gun to you. Yeah, give us your lunch money, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, give me that football too. No, I despite my name being Nutter, my family is, very Italian. So it's typical that shit growing up, which is annoying. Sunday dinners, pasta shit. And then as far as like the world of Staten Island growing up, it's typical kid shit. Nothing too dangerous. There was no like not like drug usage running around me or anything like that. Nothing crazy. Not just typical bullying shit. Parents were fine. I didn't get beat or molested, so good job.
That's good.
Yeah. So just normal shit.
That's 2 home runs for them. They didn't beat you on the
Yeah.
Very hard for most parents. They got to do one. Like,
Yeah, you won.
Yeah. And were you big into Disney and animated films as a kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, my dad's the one who got me the comic books. Like
Okay.
he's the one who got me into like Spider-Man and Batman, all that shit. Yeah, but definitely animated. Oh man, I used to watch. I remember the VHS tapes of Robin Hood, the Disney movie. I would pop them. Dude, I had all of them. That Little Mermaid, with the dick on the cover.
Oh yeah,
Little
I still
Mermaid
have
with
that.
the dick on the cover. Yeah. All of them, dude. I had all those. I would watch them on like a loop, just like on a cycle, and just pop them in.
Those clamshell packages made those movies seem like they were so much more important than other movies.
That's
like,
so true.
Yeah, it was like this gets it really like you got to be really careful with this movie. It's got like a really like everything else, even like Oscar winners would just come with that shitty little like cardboard case, and like this is like no. This is a real movie.
And I know this makes no sense, but I do miss those days a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I buy the 4K Blu-rays and stuff. I'm big into like I especially for the Disney films. Even though there's Disney Plus, I'm still buying physical media. But like those VHS cases really, I don't know, it meant something serious was going down.
Like it meant like I don't know, like remember the '90s, like sitting around with your friends being like, "Yo, you want to watch like whatever?" And then it's like, "Oh yeah," and then you take it out of the fucking sheath and you pop it in. And it's like you gotta rewind it, and you gotta like rewind it. Like don't worry, don't watch it. like not watch a movie. It has to be it was like a whole experience. It was fun, and now it's like obviously it's a lot more easier and obviously compacted.
But it kind of I don't know. It kind of takes. I don't want to say it takes the fun out, but like
it does take a little bit of experience out of it, I think.
Yeah, it's some yeah. I miss having all the video stores around me. I do miss that. Like
same.
Like I wanted to watch. I wrote about this on Facebook today, but I wanted to finally watch the Vietnam documentary that PBS made because I'm officially an old piece of shit. And I spent like an hour trying to find it, and it's like they took it off Netflix. It's on Netflix, and they took it off. PBS has it, but you gotta like donate money. And I'm just like, you know what? Back in the old days, I just went into the VHS store, laid down $2.50, and got the tape and fucking watched it.
Right. Yeah, I do miss that. Remember, like the old, especially in Brooklyn, like the old video game stores, and all of the like Genesis games and like Super Nintendo games on the walls and shit like that, and like and it had it all on the counter, and you would go and be like, oh. Like, how much is that? And you're like, oh, this is a resale. So, like, $10. Like, all right. Here's $10. Like, go home and play, like, fucking Qbert and Sega.
Qbert and Sega. Now, since this is Wreck-It Ralph, we gotta do this talk. Were you big into video games as a kid? Did you go to the arcade a lot?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we had an arcade, because, for sure. In Staten Island, absolutely. A lot of Mortal Kombat, a lot of Street Fighter, a lot of, like, side-scrollers, like the Ninja Turtles side-scrollers.
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons.
I love those.
Dude, the Simpsons arcade game, all those. Some racing games we got into, but they weren't as fun to me personally as the shooter or fight games.
Yeah, the racing games always felt like they were deliberately moving the clock faster to get you out of your corner.
Right.
Like you literally have to be fucking the guy in Fast and the Furious, but you also have the computer working against you. So I wasn't
hard.
really big into those. Yeah.
And of course, it's not like driving a real car. Yeah. So like.
You know what? They would have been a lot more fun if, like, I don't know, like, let's say, like, you have a Mario Kart machine, and it's like, all right, you do one race, it's 8 players, and then that's it. And then you have to put in more quarters. It would have been more fun to do a whole race rather than race against the clock and the other.
At Dave & Buster's, they have a Mario Kart.
Yeah, but I tried it, but it's still on the clock. Like if
It
you
is.
don't,
It is. It is.
yeah,
But
it's
it's hard. It is hard.
yeah,
It is bullshit. But also the fucking old school.
shooting games. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lethal Enforcers.
Time Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Did like Jurassic Park, Terminator,
The House of the Dead. That's a
House of the
which
Dead.
they kind of reference in this movie. I feel like that zombies from House of the Dead.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But those games were like fucking impossible to get
Yeah.
like far in. Like I do you ever beat those?
No.
Never.
No.
I never even saw anyone beat them.
No, they're they start overwhelming you, and it's like you have to literally. I would like to see like a fucking guy who's like a marksman play one of those games.
I don't think it matters. Just because it's unrealistic and the amount of fucking enemies there are at one point. Like I actually want to go on YouTube after this and type in like end of time crisis and like who beat this game. I want to see an ending.
I think there are people that did, but like I think those people, you have to be like the best. You have to first of all, you have to have a ton of money. And you have to be because you have to. It's like I think like towards the end, Time Crisis was like $2 a fucking play or something.
Well, no, it is. You can't. There's no way you could beat it on one pay.
No, there's no way. Yeah.
It's impossible. You would have to just keep dedicating money to it. It's like it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, and to me, like I don't know if anyone could ever be as good at those games as people are with Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and Frogger. Like there's people who are beyond experts.
They're like savants. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like there's still discussion about how to get better at Donkey Kong.
I'm sure you watch those documentaries on Amazon, like King of the Kong and the other one about Snake.
I didn't watch the Snake one.
Is it Snake, right?
Is it Snake the mobile game, right?
No, no. It was the old school arcade game, but it was like kind of like that where you are a snake and you have to go through a puzzle, but every like time you get like a piece, you get longer and you can't hit into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like Snake, but it wasn't called that. It was like the earlier version of that. It was an arcade game. Nibbler. It was Nibbler.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I didn't see that. Is that good? Is that a good documentary?
It was really good. It was fucking great.
King of Kong is like one of the best. You know what it felt like? It felt like a real life sequel to something like Weird Science or Breakfast Club. Like people that just can't leave the 80s. And that were like kind of cool in the 80s and they never left it.
Dude, Billy Mitchell seems like such a fucking loser to me. Like he seems like such a loser. Like I bet you if you met him in real life, he'd be like, "You know who I am?" Like one of those guys. And it's like, "You play Kong, dude. Like shut up." like I bet you that's his. And I'm totally speculating here, but that's
I wouldn't
his
be
attitude.
Surprised, but I loved King of Kong. I loved it. I loved it.
There's that new Netflix mini doc, High Score.
Oh, is it about this?
It's all about like video games and shit, like the old bit game. I think it's like a little history of like the cartridges and all that shit.
So I'm a little bit older than you, but my arcades were in Penn Station.
Oh wow, yeah.
And fucking Times Square. The Times Square arcade was no joke. I mean, it was fucking serious. Times Square arcades, and I miss those days so much.
I remember seeing. There's another good documentary on Netflix that actually talks about like what was like the last arcade in Brooklyn. It was like Chinese Fortune.
Well, there was
like
one in Chinatown where you could play tic-tac-toe with a chicken, and the chicken would always beat you.
That was it.
Live chicken in the
right.
Yeah. Now they have Barcade in St. Mark's Place, and I think I don't like Barcade. I'll tell you the best arcade right now. I think right now in the country. And again, I haven't really been all around the country, but the one I spent all day here was Logan's Bar and Arcade in Chicago. Have you ever been to Chicago?
I have been to Chicago. Yes.
Have you ever been to Logan's?
Steph, did we go to Logan's when we were in Chicago? Logan's? No, right? I don't think so.
Okay. Well, okay. It's a bar. It's like a craft beer bar. They have monster masks all in the front.
No, we definitely didn't go to that place.
There was the night I was there was a fat I was there all day, all night. There was a fat guy in a Hawaiian shirt playing hillbilly records from the 60s and the 70s. And they had all types of arcade. They had the original Tapper, which I know this game has the root beer. I mean, this movie, sorry, it's root beer Tapper.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But the original version was sponsored by Miller Lite, and you were tossing Miller Lights at people.
Whoa!
And they had that version at Logan's, and I did 2 shows that Sunday. I did a weekend of shows in
Okay.
Chicago just to get away from New York last summer because I was kind of like, I don't know, I was just getting there. I hadn't gotten away from New York since my dad died. I was kind of like over it.
I hear you.
But like, I spent my entire day at the arcade. I did the 2 shows, and then I went back to the arcade.
That's sick. That's something I would do.
Yeah, it was fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
for sure.
It was fucking incredible. And I went to arcades like in this movie. I feel like more of the middle of the country had arcades like this. See, the arcades I went to were fucking dangerous, but that's what kind of made them fun.
They were always safe. Like when I was going, like there was never any
okay.
fear. I was Staten Island, dude. You know, it's not like it's a little different.
Okay, yeah. See, I like the knives were pulled in the arcades in Astoria and stuff. Like I remember one time a kid. So like nobody really knew combo Street Fighter 2. My friend did, and he went to the arcade and he beat these 3 guys using combos because no one knew how to do that.
Right, it's just button mashing.
Yeah, button mash. You're button
Right.
mashing, and the guy pulled a knife on my friend. Said he was cheesy. He was cheesy.
That's psychotic.
And this is like 1992. I think.
No, oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
insane.
I was also like a kid in '92, but no, it was Staten Island. It was definitely safe. There was never any like just dumb kid fights, like like
Yeah.
you knocked over my drink, like shit like that. Nothing fucking crazy.
So had you seen Wreck-It Ralph before we did this podcast?
Oh yeah, dude, I love that movie. I watched that movie like 100 fucking times.
Oh wow, okay, all right, cool. See, I was going to see it, and then I had a bunch of nerd friends who were like, "Dude, it's not good." First of all, and now like I'm like, why is it not good? Well, like Zangief and fucking Sonic on the poster, they're not even in the movie. Why are they on the poster then? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, fuck that. But and now I saw the movie, and I'm like, well, yeah, this is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but for video game characters.
Right.
Like it's about original characters, dude.
Right. It's not about them. It's about Ralph and
It's not
Penelope.
about Sonic and Zangief going in. First of all, what are Sonic and Zangief going to do together? I don't.
Nothing.
I know.
It's stupid. It's irrelevant. It was a good movie. It was funny.
Oh, it was
Heartwarming.
Funny. It nailed arcades. It nailed why people go to arcades. It nailed the old school aesthetic.
Dude, the whole glitch thing is like
the whole
perfect.
glitch thing. This was really like a love letter about video games and gaming from the 80s to 2012. I mean, even the was it called?
Metal Gear Solid, Solid Snake.
No, I'm sorry. No, the game that Jane Lynch is the character in.
Oh, it was like a Halo version. I don't remember the
even
name of
that
the game.
was like a love letter to like Halo and Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was sick. They nailed
yeah.
everything. The racing games, first-person shooters, sports games,
Mhm.
old school side scrollers. They literally got everything down. Arcades and consoles.
Yeah, they nailed everything down. I really liked the way they had. It was very. So like for a while, like since like the year like 2001, I feel like Disney was trying to catch up to Pixar, which is why they kind of fucking bought them.
Yeah.
And Tangled was the first movie where they combined Disney and Pixar sensibilities. But this movie almost out Pixar because it really made believable. It was believable how the characters to walk around the arcade. It was very Pixar in how they like made this world into like a real world.
Right.
The arcade.
I agree. It was cool. Yeah, it's like you had the fucking plug, whatever it was, like the meat, like the lobby for all the games, socket, whatever the
power
strip,
power
right?
strip, yeah,
whatever it is, yeah. That was like the lobby for all the games to meet up, and like they have like TSA agents, whatever, like on each game entrance, so like games couldn't cross each other. But that was great, dude. I mean, like him going to different games, like that's super fun, man. Like that's a super fun aesthetic. Like it was cool seeing him going to like Tapper, off hours and stuff like that.
It was cool seeing Ryu and Ken, and that was like using games like Tapper, which nobody really remembers, but it was so cool. Like they used it as like a character, as a set and a major character in the movie, which I thought was really cool. Like you have to really love video games to use Tapper.
And it's also funny too, because like these characters know they're in a video game, but they still hate Ralph.
Yeah.
A
lot of Mario influences in this game, like Fix-It Felix, Wreck-It Ralph, that's definitely based off Donkey Kong.
Oh, 100%.
Based off Donkey Kong. And then the other thing was the racing game, Sugar Rush, is Mario Kart.
100%.
Yeah, so very Mario influenced. And like I know they're making a Super Mario film right now, an animated film. But the guys who did Minions are doing it, which I'm kind of like, But I kind of hope they acknowledge that Mario's a video game character, and they don't try to do like a real story in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Right, like so you're hoping they do kind of like a Wreck-It Ralph, but Mario.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of
Right.
hoping they do, and like, or even like a story where they're in a Nintendo system, and it's like Mario, Link, Simon Belmont, the Ninja Gaiden character, Mega
Right.
Man. Like, you know what I mean?
Seamus, whatever the fuck you pronounce your name from.
Samus, yeah, like they're inside
Samus,
of Nintendo.
yeah. Right.
They got to escape an original Nintendo.
They probably won't though. They probably make it.
I know it'll probably be like
yeah.
he'll probably be a plumber in Brooklyn, and they pull him into a pipe, and he fucking.
That movie was terrible. The live action Mario.
Oh yeah, that was. I never even saw that, dude.
Oh, it was so bad.
That was the movie. Even when I was a kid, I was like, "There's no fucking way it's gonna be good. This is not." Like, I don't understand. Like, they really thought they could just fool kids back then and be like, "We're just gonna put any bullshit on the screen."
90s, I feel like were such a decade for like what's popular right now with kids. Make a movie and it's a TV show about it, no matter how bad or good it is.
But we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want with that.
Right? They're not gonna
follow
the
rules. Yeah.
Well, did you ever watch the show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us?
I want to. I've been meaning to get around to it.
I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes, but I watched the Ninja Turtles one, and that one was actually pretty fascinating because like they had no merchandise like off the comic book because they had no manager or anything like that. So their manager just went around to all these different properties like Hasbro, Mattel, like, you want this Ninja Turtle thing? They're like, no. Like no one wanted Ninja Turtle stuff, and then finally someone was like, yeah, we'll fucking do it. Some Japanese company, and then it hit, and all the other companies like, oh, we want it now. They're like, too bad, suck it. It's like it's interesting how all that shit works out. Like you don't think about all that stuff ever. You just assume it's all set up and ready to go, and it's like it's not. It wasn't back then anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, Ninja Turtles. I mean, I don't think anyone. Even when I was a kid, when I first heard there's gonna be a thing called Ninja Turtles, I was like, well, that doesn't sound. That sounds weird. That doesn't sound like it's gonna be good. But I mean, it wound up. I mean, obviously, I still fucking buy Ninja Turtle shit. So I'm wearing a fucking Ninja Turtle shirt.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Also, a fun fact is Eastman and Laird. They stopped getting along at one point, and they both refused to sell turtles for a long time. At one point, Laird was like, "Hey," goes to Eastman's like, "Hey, I'll just buy you out." Eastman's like, "Whatever." Buys him out. Laird sells for like millions of dollars. Eastman got none of it.
That sucks. Nickelodeon.
Yep, he sold to Nick. Yep.
I kind of sucked. I hate that Nickelodeon owns it. I fucking hate that. I don't know. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like another company would do way better with that. But it is what it is.
Like Disney or Marvel, or Disney or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not Warner Brothers. I don't trust them. But
yeah.
But yeah, Disney or something would do way better with them. What did you think of? I love the movie. I love so much about the movie. But I'll tell you the one thing I kind of thought was kind of weak. What did you think of Sarah Silverman?
Like her character or her acting in it?
Performance. I like the character, but I just thought the performance was a little bit too grating.
It was very on the nose, like of the character she was trying to come off as. Like it was very much like, I get the dynamic they're going with here.
Yeah, I would have cast. I know it's gonna sound weird, but I would have cast someone younger. I don't know. I just was like, I don't know. I just
like a younger voice.
Younger voice, yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I can't think of anybody that would have been 2012, but like you're thinking like more like a Demi Lovato, like Ariana Grande of today.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It sounds like she's drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes.
Right.
She's supposed to be like a little girl, and I'm like, is she a midget? That's his age, or like?
Right. She's 37. Like, what's up?
Yeah, but she's supposed to be like a little kid, and sometimes sometimes like you're watching it and you're like, oh, do these two like each other? Like, no, she's a little kid, like, but she doesn't sound like a little kid. So like,
right.
She sounds sounds like she has Gary Coleman disease.
Did you smoke 80 packs of cigarettes before you?
Yeah.
You fucking started recording.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to take me out of the movie though. It was,
No, it wasn't. At first it was. My first movie, my second movie, I've accepted it. But the thing I love about this movie is just like the world they created, and the rules they create, and it was just so fucking awesome, And
I like they gave them physics, like video game physics, to adhere to. Like if you die outside the game, that's it.
Yeah, which we really fucked up because, like, does that mean like that machine just stops work? I guess the machine that's how machines break. The characters wander outside their game and then they die. And
Or
that's when,
right, I guess. Yeah, and they never really. I guess that was more of a. We'll leave it to your interpretation.
yeah, but it was fucking yeah. Also, the other thing is like Sonic doesn't really have an arcade game, so I'm like, what game in an arcade has Sonic? That
Was there ever something?
there was a shitty '90s Sonic arcade, but I couldn't find it anywhere. It was like a racing game. I couldn't find it.
Right, it's like Sonic Racing or something.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing too in the '90s. Like they had like a racing game for every video game character.
Yeah.
Like like Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong Racing, fucking
They had
Mario
Nicktoons
Kart,
Racing.
Nicktoons Racing.
Pac-Man
That
had a
Sonic
racing game.
Pac-Man had a yep. There was so many race. It's like okay, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, this one's in an airplane though. It's like it's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Now, do you play video games at home?
I do. When I say less, I play like every day, but like my as a variety of games is less now.
Okay.
So I play a lot of Madden, a lot of NHL for sports games. But then as far as non-sports games, I play like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty,
You're a PS4 guy or Xbox?
Xbox.
Okay, cool.
What else? Battlefront, like shit like that. I'll get the Batman games. I'll get those. Those are
yeah.
cool. But like I don't get a lot. I really don't get a lot of games. I really don't anymore. Like when I was younger,
Well-
I did. I kind of just stick to something. I play it out for a little bit now, and then I'll switch over and play something else out.
Yeah, when the pandemic began, like it was like a video game. There was like Doom Eternal. Did you get that?
I didn't. I should have though. I didn't.
It's pretty good. Although no, actually it's not. I'll tell you why it's not. They have jumping puzzles.
I
don't
hate
know about
puzzles.
But well, I can't fucking jump. You want me to jump like Mario? I can't jump like Mario in a first-person game.
It's hard.
It's way too fucking hard. I can't measure the distance.
I know, cause you're trying to look around. You're like, I don't know where I'm gonna land, man.
I don't know where my feet are, or like like there's a whole thing about like you got to get your feet at the right hitbox, and I was dying constantly. It was the second fucking level too, and the game is so good. It's like why? And the platforms fall if you stay on them for too long.
Oh my god.
Where the fuck? But Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, the remake came out. Did that came out for Xbox?
How it may have. I don't remember seeing it though on the
Okay.
store.
But I played the shit out of that, and then Animal Crossing, and tried to get into. Everybody else on the planet got into it.
I didn't even give that a look. Cause like, there's no way I'm gonna like this game.
Yeah,
What's the point of it?
There's no point. But people are into it. I mean, AOC fucking had personal appearances on it. I don't. It's bizarre.
That's psychotic.
But you know what? Nintendo is so like in their own world. Like quarantine's going on and everyone's playing this game, and they didn't even try to capitalize on it. They're just like, oh, it's cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's great. Like Nintendo just does not give a fuck. They just do their own thing.
They're very blind.
Any other company would have started like doing all these updates and would have like tried to like monetize quarantine, and they were just like, no, thanks for playing the game.
They just started allowing like outside merchandising companies to make their shit.
Yeah, no. Well, apparently, like the filmmakers of the Mario movie, they have to call Nintendo for every decision, every like line in the script.
The Pikachu movie.
Oh yeah, well they co-own Pokemon. They don't like own. That's why you see like more Pokemon stuff out there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why
it's weird. They're like that.
Yeah, but they're very like protective of this shit. But they're also very like they're in their own little world, which I think kind of makes them cool to me because like they don't like like Fortnite will change. Do you play Fortnite?
I used to a little bit, but like I'll be honest with you,
I fucking hate it.
Building and shit, I was like, I'm out. Just let me shoot something.
Dude, I tried to play it and I was just wandering around for 20 minutes and I got shot and I'm like literally fucking Frogger has more depth than this bullshit. Like how is anyone playing this? Like
I mean, I play Warzone. That's fun. Like Call of Duty Warzone, it's fun to play with your friends. Like because there's no building. You're just dropping down. The guns are realistic. They're rifles and shit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You're not shooting fucking lasers and and you get like helicopters. It's more realistic in the sense of like I'm not gonna be able to build a fucking thing and hide from you for 80 days.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen? Also, hold on. Someone rang my doorbell. Sorry for the interruption, guys. I'm back. Have you seen the news story? Since we're talking about Fortnite, have you seen the news story about like fucking Fortnite and Apple fighting?
I saw it, but like, what's the details of it? Like,
Well,
what's Epic's problem? Like, what is their deal?
well, Apple takes like 30% of like all the in-game sales,
Okay.
and Epic doesn't want them to take any of their sales. So Epic like started their own currency system, and Apple immediately banned them. But as soon as they banned them, they started a camp. They sued Apple and they started
Right.
campaigning, asking the fans to like harass Apple. And like half the people that play Fortnite are like these like fucking incel kids who have no life. So it was like, dude, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Dude, they made 1.2 billion with Fortnite a year last year. Like, I get Apple takes a big cut, but like, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. And you're weaponizing these fucking kids to go to war with another multi-billion.
You know, it's really funny. Like, there's so many funny things about that whole scenario that goes through my brain that I'm not even saying I agree or disagree with them all.
Mhm.
But if you just look at it from a comedic point of view, it's very funny. It's very funny that Epic's like, this 1.2 billion isn't enough. We want it all.
Yeah.
Apple's also the balls of Apple to be like, give us 30%. Like, that's crazy.
30% of like if a kid. So if a kid buys like a fucking hat in Fortnite, they get 30% of money.
Yeah,
if he
that's
does it.
psychotic. That's too much money. But
Yeah.
they're a private company, so like you have to, I guess, deal with that. The third part that's funny is Epic being like, "Go troll Apple kids." Like that's really funny. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
a
know,
douchebag
but
thing
it's
to
like-
do, but it's hilarious.
You weaponize children, and this is like 2020 is such an insane year that like
Insane.
nothing surprises me about this fucking year.
That's what I'm saying. Like you shouldn't weaponize incel simp 12-year-olds, but it's also hilarious that they were like, "We're gonna
Yeah.
use this."
Yeah,
Like it's
they
so
had
funny.
like a whole thing. They knew what they were doing. It's not like like if some 12-year-old punches an Apple employee, they're gonna act like, "Oh, we did." You knew that was
Right.
gonna happen. Come on,
Right.
fucking, But also like, why are you playing Fortnite on your fucking iPhone? I don't know. If I play Fortnite, it's on my Switch or my PS4. It's all.
Right, like on an actual console.
Like
I don't
be a
know.
real fucking man. You fucking
You
loser
be a real
kid.
man. You play Fortnite on a console.
Yeah, you fucking little
You little bitch.
you little bitch kid. Why the fuck you buying like Fortnite hats anyway too?
Oh, the worst is like, dude, I'll play NHL, which is a fucking hockey game, and like if we'll lose, like I'll have a message from like a kid being like, "You fucking pussy." I'm like, "What are you, 11? I hear the
Yeah.
squeak in your voice." I'm like, "I'll kill you in real life." What are you talking about? Like,
You fucking pussy. That was the best scene of Avengers Endgame. He was fighting with that kid on Fortnite. Remember that noob mask?
call me a dick again. Yeah, that was great.
That was fucking hilarious. But yeah, let me get back to Wreck-It Ralph. So Wreck-It Ralph came out in 2012. What were you up to in 2012?
I had a kid who was 1 year old.
Oh, Jesus, all right. So your kid has probably grown up on these movies. Is your kid a fan of all these new movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes them all.
Okay.
He sees all the new comic book shit. I got him into most of that stuff.
Is he into Disney or is he like it is what it is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, like, he's like any other 9, 10-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like it is no.
He's probably more into action films. Like I was. That's how I got like around 10.
You know what? I think it's both. I think just his generation growing up is so inundated in it all. I think it's a little different than we were growing up.
Mhm.
Like where like there were no comic book movies when we were growing up.
Yes,
No.
there were. No, there
I mean,
weren't.
animated, but not like.
Like Batman was a big deal. Batman
Right.
Batman '89 was like shut the world down.
Right, and that
It was
was
a Batman.
right, and that was it. And Superman, that was like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like, but as opposed to them, where it's like they literally Disney Plus has a whole goddamn catalog of Marvel movies they could watch. Like, there's 18 of them like right now. Like, it's just not the same. So I think it's like all those kids are just like, oh yeah, I like all this shit.
Yeah. Now, just now, you pointed to the back, and I noticed you have a tattoo for Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, these.
Yeah.
me
Now,
too.
I take it you're a huge fan of the movie, then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on that shit. Tim
Okay.
Burton. That's like, yeah. I mean, I watched that movie fucking 100. I watched it every Halloween with my wife. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
it's that's a staple of my childhood for sure.
Dude, true story. I went Halloween night, 1993. Me and my so I had decided after 11 I was not gonna trick or treat anymore. So fucking kids, I was done. And I went to my friend's house on that Halloween, and they lived in Manhattan. And they were like, no, we're gonna trick or treat because here in Manhattan they give us money. And I'm like, well, I don't have a costume, and that's for babies now. I'm not a fucking baby. And they like basically just painted with a marker a beard on me and be like, you just go as like a terrorist. I don't know. But anyway, we went that night to see Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween, 1993. The theater was beyond empty.
Really?
It bombed. Nobody talks about that. That movie bombed.
Oh
And
right. Commercially it did.
yeah, and I'm sitting in this theater, and I'm like, and I say when I left, I'm like, how the fuck is nobody in this theater? This is like the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen. And nobody, and it took years to become like this big hit that it is now. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, as a kid watching this, being like, this is visually and like audibly, like audibly, I don't know the word for it. Audio wise, it's like amazing. Like the fucking singing, the aesthetics, the bright colors, the dark tones, like the beautiful clay work. It was amazing. Like, how could you not like that movie?
Dude, I feel like that made Disney cool for like a whole generation of goth kids.
Yeah,
I feel
for
like
sure.
before that movie came out, they were like, the goth kids I grew up with were not into Disney, but now you see so many goth kids are into Disney,
which is weird
because of that fucking movie. Yeah, which is weird. But like, there's some good Disney kind of caters towards. Like, dude, you look at some of the Night Before Christmas stuff. It is they design it now. The shirts, like I got a Halloween Town shirt last Halloween to wear on stage. You know I wear it like crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, they design it for like a punk rock kids. They don't design it for like this.
No, I know. I have one or two. I used to. They don't fit me anymore.
Okay.
They're too big. But like, I had a few Nightmare shirts that were like absolutely for adults. Like they're not like they're geared for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people our age.
I'm so surprised they never made a sequel to that. But I mean, what would it be? The Night Before Easter? I don't know.
I would actually prefer they never do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Because first of all, guarantee it won't be claymation.
No, it'll be CGI.
And like, legitimately, half the charm of that movie is fucking. The work that went into it, though.
Unless like at Pixar they had an idea for it. If Pixar was like, we have an idea, I would kind of trust them. But
it's not that I think the movie would be bad.
Yeah.
I just mean like it's not gonna be. You're taking away a large part of that movie, which was the claymation part. And again, the painstaking process. Like the work that goes into it. And let's be honest, it's not the same that goes into CGI. So so it's just I feel like you take away the charm of it if you don't do it like that again.
Yeah, and the designs were like just incredible, like Oogie Boogie and Jack Skeleton. It's just and this is the time of year where I start falling in love with this movie again because I love Halloween. It's my favorite season.
It's my wife's favorite holiday.
I don't know if you saw how I decorate my house on Halloween, but it's insane.
I did.
Okay,
yeah, it is cool. It's my wife would actually I show my wife I think because my wife only decorates for 2 holidays. It's Halloween and Christmas. She only loves those 2 holidays.
I do year round, but I keep a Halloween theme. Like
that's cool.
Right now I have Labor Day.
But she only decorates for those 2 because she fucking loves Halloween and shit. So like we bought, but not outside our house, just the inside. Which is funny.
I do outside, dude. Like I bought another animatronic from Spear. I spent $200 on an animatronic for Halloween. I have like 4 or 5 animatronics down from my house. I'm just fucking go crazy. I love it.
Dude, I mean, listen, do it. Fucking, you're an adult. That's what I always like. It's funny, like when I go get like again, I collect comic books, right? Like I collect pops too. Not anymore. I stopped collecting pops because it was just too much. But like I still collect comic books, and like people be like, "Why do you spend your time on that?" It's like because when I was a kid, I wish I had money to get this stuff, and now I do.
Yeah, exactly. Like
what do you mean?
I want to do as a kid. I'm gonna do it now. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you ever see Ralph Breaks the Internet?
You know what's funny? No, and I try to watch with my. I know, and this is just one of those things. It's like. I just noticed as I got older, I started actually watching less movies, and not for any reason, no reason at all. I love movies. It's not like I hate movies anymore. I don't know what happened. It was a really weird. I just noticed it. It wasn't like a concentrated effort to stop, And I was like, I'm noticing I'm watching less and less movies, and then that came out on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, and I tried my wife to watch it. I was like, want to watch it? She was like, no. I was like, all right, well, I don't know.
Well, that goes that plan. Yeah.
I was like, I feel weird. I don't know. I do. I'm gonna get her to watch it.
I watched it. I liked it, but this is what I noticed with the last few Disney movies. They don't have villains anymore. Like they kind of stopped having villains after Zootopia, and it's with the Pixar movies the same thing. There's no villains in the last couple of Pixar films, and I feel like there's a concentrated effort to like make the conflict not someone trying to hurt the character.
Huh, you're right. I saw Homebound or Home whatever.
Onward, there's no villain.
No villain.
There's absolutely no villain. Even that dragon, that's an incidental villain. That's just
right. You're right, because all villains in those movies are side characters.
Yeah, but Incredibles 2, there's really no. I mean, there is a villain, but it's not like a villain. There's like the conflicts are more interpersonal, and I feel like it's a concentrated effort to move away, and I think that's a bad move because kids need to know there are people out there that will murder the fucking shit
Agreed.
out of you, but they're pretty awesome people, like Jafar.
Right.
Like they need to know that, and I just feel like Moana didn't have a villain, Frozen
That's
2
right.
didn't have a villain, Ralph Breaks the Internet didn't have a villain, and I'm like,
I didn't see Frozen 2. I didn't like the first one.
Frozen 2 is fucking atrocious. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It ended the streak of good movies. It feels like an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh, you mean the C-SPAN of Star Trek's?
Well, because yeah, like I remember like when I was a little kid, people be like, "Oh, watch Star," and I go to watch Star Trek, and there'd be like a 20-minute scene about like how they have to need to fix the engine or something or the warp drive, and I'm like, why don't I just go in my garage and learn how to fix a car with my dad? Why the fuck am I watching these guys
Yeah.
talk about make believe science? No.
I never was a Star Trek person. I'm a Star Wars person.
Yeah,
hence
me
the
too,
Boba
yeah.
Fett tattoo on my arm.
Oh
But,
shit!
like,
All right, there you go.
so I never got into Star Trek because I thought it was lame. My dad's definitely a bigger Star Wars fan, but he definitely watched Star Trek. And I remember like going in sometimes the living room, he'd be like watching like Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and being like, "This is fucking boring."
Yeah, it really is. It's just
And then he started watching Voyager, which is a little more like that was like the
well, 7 of
most
9 was
actiony.
hot.
Yeah, 100%. All day. But I'm like Voyager's a little cooler, it's a little more action, but it still sucks, you know? It's like it's just so boring. Yeah, just
Yeah, no, but Frozen 2, the reason why I say that is that there's a ton of scenes where they just talk about the mythology and the reason why she has powers and where the parents went. And I'm like, all right, listen, I'm 39 years old. I need a fucking flowchart to figure out like what's going on. How are kids keeping up with like this massive dump of information every other scene? And there's not
Right.
really a story. It's just like this dump of shit that happened in the past that the girls have to react to. And I'm just like really, this was, and then I'm like, this is why Disney, because people are always like, how come Walt Disney doesn't do sequels? Because they want, originally like Hollywood was like, you're gonna do a sequel to Snow White, you're gonna do a sequel to Cinderella, right? And Walt Disney was like, there's nowhere to go. Like they got married. That's it. It's over. Like they're happy, happily ever after. I just said it, but it's true. Like there's nowhere to. And Frozen 2 is proof. There's nowhere to fucking go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's. I mean, we know what they are. They're cash grabs.
They're
Man.
cash grabs. Yeah. But I mean, like, Disney had artist integrity where he's like, I want to go on a different adventure. I want to do something new. And these new people
Just no Jews, but
no
everything
Jews,
else.
no black
no
people.
Jews, no blacks.
We're not going to explore black people. But we are going to go like I don't know, like different parts of Europe, and different princesses,
Different
like,
other whites, other great whites of Europe.
whites. Maybe some more movies about dogs because they're nice. But that's it. But yeah, dude. But the other thing I like about Wreck-It Ralph, I know I'm jumping around, but like I feel like there's so much that Wreck-It Ralph covers with video games, animation. I really like the fact that Q*bert has such a big role. I really feel like people like sleep on Q*bert. I love Q*bert. Man.
I told you, I really did used to rent that game and play it back in the day. It was fucking hard.
The
other thing I like about Wreck-It Ralph is like, it's almost like Ralph is like, I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that struggle of like, that's why you feel sad in the movie because it's like he's just doing what he's like has to kind of do, and he's kind of keeping everybody alive.
Yeah, he's the whole reason they have a video game.
Right, he's the reason they're in existence, and like it's like that sad like struggle that they don't get that he does.
Yeah, and it's just like they're so mean to him, and it's like without him, like Fix-It Felix has nothing to do.
Yeah,
and
I do have all the pops of them, by the way, the original.
Oh, okay, wow. Dude, that's
yeah.
I'm really surprised, and I don't know, maybe you saw this out in the wild, but I'm really shocked. Maybe they have this at Disney World. They didn't make a Fix-It Felix video game, like in the style of that game.
They should have.
Or an arcade, like at barcades, there should be a Fix-It Felix arcade machine.
It's actually very weird they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, or like you can even buy like a replica Fix-It.
Because that you could just essentially, like you said, it's a combination of like King Kong and like Rampage almost.
Yeah,
or like you know.
And like they have a Wreck-It Ralph game for the Wii, but it's a side scroller, like a fucking like Contra or something. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just make? I don't understand why you don't just have him jump into different video games in the video game version of Wreck-It Ralph.
Or that too.
Yeah,
they could do a lot of things. They could do a Wreck-It Ralph game where he has to like save Vanellope maybe and has to go through different versions of
Yeah.
games to get to her, or just do an actual old school like 8-bit Fix It Felix game.
Or Sugar Rush, or even the metal.
Shit, holy fuck, yeah, Sugar Rush.
Yeah, why don't you just make a Sugar Rush game? It's just I'm sitting there like, why didn't they just make these games and have them come out on like the Wii and the PS3 when the movie came out? Like, why would you make like a game where I don't? It's just weird, dude. They used to be so good with Disney video games. You remember how good Disney video games were back in the day?
They were impossible.
I know, but they were good.
They were good. They were good.
Like Aladdin is Aladdin.
Fuck that game. Fuck Lion King too. I mean, they were great games. But they were so hard. Aladdin was so hard though.
So they re-released Aladdin Lion King for the Switch, and I grabbed it last Halloween. It came out on Halloween actually, and fucking Lion King. I'm like, how did kids play this? Because I never played it.
Thank you. I say that so much. I go, how as a child was I playing this game? I can't do that as an adult.
Yeah, it's really fucking hard, and it's like, I just don't understand. But because every kid bought it. I mean, I was like a little bit too older. I was older for it. But every kid that was like, that was like 6 or 7 bought that fucking game, and then they lost the first level.
Dude, this is the fun video game story, and a coming of age video game story. The first time I ever publicly cursed in front of my parents as a kid was because of a video game. So the first time Superman versus Doomsday.
Oh, for the Super Nintendo.
Or Sega, but same thing.
Okay, yeah.
I had it for Sega. Because Doomsday was impossible to beat in that game. Mm-hmm. So I would beat the whole fucking game and get to Doomsday, and I could, dude. And I mean, you're 8 years old, whatever, and you're learning defeat for the first time, really. Mm-hmm. As a kid, right? So you're learning. I'm not winning. Like, I'm not supposed to win. And I was getting so mad. He kept killing me. I went, fuck you, Doomsday. And my parents were like, what? Like, they weren't even mad at me because it was so at the time, so uncharacteristic of me, I got so upset I cursed. I thought I was in so much trouble. I started crying, and they were like, no, like, just, it's okay. Just don't say that. Like, you're trying to say it. Dude, that was the first time I ever cursed in front of my parents. It was because of a video game.
I have 2 stories where I got nasty with parents for video games. The first story was I was playing WWF Superstars at the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Got to the last guy. We got to the $1 million team, which was Ted DiBiase and Andre Giant, and I lost. So I ran to get another quarter. And I'm like, Mom, give me another quarter. I can beat him. And I went, hurry the fuck up, you bitch, or something like that. I was like 7. And every parent had something to fucking say. And I want to go back and I'm like, all right, just calm the fuck down. I had a better relationship with my mom. Like I think some of the parents had something to say. Like, they don't even talk to their kids anymore before they died or something in the neighborhood. Then the other story was I got sick at school. I did get sick. This was not a lie. I think Mom thought I was full of shit. I got sick at school, and I asked her to take me out, and she came and got me. And we're going home, and I walked by this deli, and they had the Simpsons arcade machine. And I was like, and I didn't even know the Simpsons arcade machine coming out. And I had no idea this was a thing. And I was like, give me $1. And I ran in there and I played it, and I think I played like $2 or $3. And then my mom, I thought you were sick. I'm like, it's a Simpsons arcade game. And I think she was disappointed in me. I think she thought I lied. But it was a Simpsons arcade game, dude. Yeah,
that game's great. It really is still the greatest game. Our producer for our podcast, he has the Raspberry Pi emulator or whatever. Mm-hmm. We were playing it via Zoom, Skype the other day because I have it on mine too. And we were like playing each other because you could link each other up on the computers and shit. Mm-hmm. We were playing since an arcade game, Road Rash.
Oh, that's a dope game.
I have a Road Rash T-shirt.
Oh, but okay, so you're
yeah.
You are hard fucking core. Yeah, so Wreck-It Ralph, I gotta say, I think this was like the first movie where Disney really matched Pixar in terms of Walt Disney Animation Studios, which is covering all their movies in a row. This is also, I think they really matched Pixar and excelled them in their type of storytelling. I think it's a tremendous movie. I think it's one of the best animated films of, at the very least, the last 10 years. I don't know if you would agree. Would you agree with that?
It was definitely, easily. Very good. It's so good that you forget it's not Pixar sometimes. Like, oh yeah, it's technically not.
Yeah. It's just the voice work, the love for video games, the storytelling, the action. I was blown away, and I wish I had seen it in theaters, but I was blown away. I was very happy with this movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it in theaters either. I saw it on TV. Did you? Oh wow, my brain. God damn it.
That's okay. What's up?
Not Wreck-It Ralph 2. Did you see something? I'll come back to it.
Okay.
I think I'll come back to it.
Okay, cool. Shit, now I had something I was gonna ask you. My brain fucking froze. Holy fucking shit. Fuck. Wreck-It Ralph. Oh shit. Well, this is
You know,
okay.
now I'm going with the record. I'm like, what the hell was my question? I was like, did you see something in movie theaters? And I can't fucking remember it. Oh, I have brain trauma. I have too much brain
The
trauma.
last. So I did this. So the last I've seen all these movies, but the last animated film I saw in theaters was Toy Story 4 because those are my shit.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you
that
see
was?
Toy Story 4? Yeah. Did you see
Yes.
Toy Story 4?
Yes,
Okay,
I
I didn't purely because like I don't want to cry. You know, I don't want to give because I've cried on 1, 2, and 3, and I was like, I don't want to give myself 4. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to put myself through an emotional
It's
wreck.
not as emotional as 3. It's not
What?
as no.
Really?
It's very much. It feels like a start of a new. I have an idea for Toy Story 5 and 6. Do you want to hear my idea?
Yep.
Okay, Andy, fucking, never gets married, never finds anyone, and kind of regresses. And he decides he's gonna rebuy all his toys. So he somehow gets back all the toys, Woody, Buzz, every single fucking thing. He has new toys. He's been collecting He-Mans. He's been collecting Star Wars toys. And now he's like he's totally regressed. He's totally and at first Woody and Buzz like, oh my God, it's so great to be with Andy. And they get to the house and Andy is just a recluse. He doesn't know how to communicate with people. And they're like, oh no, this isn't the same. Like Andy was such a great kid and we find out the sorry, it's COVID. Sorry. We found out the mom passed away. He had a hard time accepting it, and he had a hard time just dealing with life. He lost his job. He liked the girl. He couldn't communicate with her. So the toys are like, fuck, we got to get this guy his life back.
Right.
So the toys then have to try to help him meet a woman and start going out with people. And they have to do it without him finding out that, they're alive. And the end of the movie is Andy's married and he has kids, and the end of the movie is Andy's kids playing with the toys.
All right. It's funny too how you first started describing Toy Story would be 5. I was like, this sounds more like a serial killer movie.
Yeah. No, it's about well, Andy would be like a Disney version of being emotionally something. But the other thing too is the conflict is He-Man and Spider-Man and fucking Darth Vader. They don't want him to grow up. They like the fact that he's collecting like all this Marvel shit. He's going to Walmart and like bribing the manager for toys, Andy, at this point. Like he's completely a lunatic with toys, and they like it. Like you can put in because now Disney owns the rights to this. You can put in the Predator, like the Predator, the Alien, and they're all like these older toys. So, like we don't want him to change. We like
dude, all the Star Wars and Marvel characters alone you could put in there.
Yeah, and like they don't want it, and like you can even put in like the Cars from Cars. Like he collects all that shit. And they're like, we don't want him to change. We like him like this. And it's a conflict when Woody is like, no, this kid was meant to like do something great in his life. And I don't understand like he basically had a nervous breakdown and he can't function.
Yeah. Or again, make the dark version where he's just a serial killer. He's bringing home girls with dead bodies, and they're like, "We have to stop Andy from being a serial killer."
Yeah, that's another one. Because you know what? Because like I'll go to because I was looking for these He-Mans and I went to these toy message boards, and so many of these dudes are like very regressed. I mean, we're pretty mature because you still buy toys, right?
No, because I don't have a room. I just don't have this, because my wife was like, no, we're not doing all that shit everywhere. Because I'm a woman, I live in this house. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so my that's why I stopped with the pops. They're up in the attic. But comic books, that's my. I mean, I literally have look at these right here next to me right now. I have to send these down to get graded to see.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Because this
Dude,
is
I heard.
Spawn 17, Spawn 61, Spawn 77, Gen 13 8, Gen 13 12, and Witchblade 4. These are all like a couple $100 comic books ungraded. So if I get them graded, yeah, they're like 100 each ungraded. If I get these graded, they're gonna be more. So
dude, I bought Spawn up till issue 200, and I put on eBay like a couple of later issues, and they sold like crazy. And my friend's like, you idiot, they're worth way more than what you put. I think I put them down for like $25. 20 of them. He goes, dude, there was a low print run on the later Spawns. So
yeah,
now,
it's man, I wish you still had them.
You wish I still had them? I still have a bunch. I've sold like 30 of the Spawns from 1 to 200, but
because you still might be able to make some money off those.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I found finding newer Spawns. I just found the first appearance of Barbed Wire and And remember Barbed Wire?
Mhm.
I found the first appearance of her in my garage. I'm trying to actually. If you ever want to come down here and buy some books from me,
Dude, I
uh,
will. Yeah, totally.
I'm trying to get rid of them because I just don't. I'm like you. I don't have the. I want to get a car so I can do road gigs. It's in a new post-apocalyptic comedy scene.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to do more gigs like yours than gigs around here. But they overtaken my garage, so I'm trying to get rid of them. So if you ever want to buy books from me, dude,
Yeah, man, I totally will.
I bought 98 books a month back in the 90s and the 2000s.
Oh wow, you probably have a
Yeah.
lot of good shit, dude. Because
I
I
do.
also not only do I buy, I also sell comic books too. Like I sell I'll sell like stuff I don't want or care about, or I'll sell doubles and stuff.
Oh,
Because
so then
I am a collector too.
we need to hook up,
I
like
know.
Disney films and fucking comedy, because because I'm trying to get rid of this shit. So definitely, yeah. Adam, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Oh, at Adam Nutter on Twitter and Instagram, and at Adam Nutter Comedy on Facebook. But my Twitter's fun. I like to fuck around and be a dick, and also be funny and talk shit in sports. So follow me on Twitter.
I did see you gave it to Luisa Diaz the other day. But thank you for doing that.
To who?
You gave it to Luisa Diaz on Twitter the other day.
Oh, because that's ridiculous.
She doesn't do dude, there's so many people. I don't know if they have in the PA scene, but there's so many people out here in the New York scene that are basically like hanger-ons, and she's one of them. And they get in like small positions of power, and then they think like they're the sheriff of fucking comedy, and it's like you're literally a groupie who has a show.
Yeah, because like again, I'm no one in comedy, right? Like I'm not saying I'm anybody, but I know I'm this. I will never fucking shit on another comic for what they're doing. I would never try to cancel another comic for what they're fucking doing. So like the fact, and by the way, like I'm friends with Caitlin Rupert. I'm friendly with Aaron Berg. I know Dave Temple. Like, I know and like every time these guys get attacked for their work, it's like you're trying to attack my fucking friends and shit for like just them being better than you. It's like it's
like Big J. Like, all right, you can say like, oh, some Legion kind fans are idiots, but there's idiot fans in everything. I mean,
every circle, dude. It's crazy.
Circle. Yeah, but it's like he's generally a good dude.
Yeah,
he looks out for people. And so many people, like Aaron Berg is such a great guy.
Such a great dude. I mean, he did the Poppin' show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Week after me.
Yeah.
I remember texting him it was going to be a good show when I did the show with him. He's such a good dude. And I noticed like a lot of the comics of the most offensive material are like some of the best dudes.
Best dudes in the world.
To be around. Like totally. And then some of these comics who like, you're like, oh, I'm going to go fucking protest. They'll stab you in the back for a fucking dollar.
And by the way, and this also then is totally going into this pure comedy conversation, but the thing with her is like Big J openly asked all three of them multiple times to debate on any platform they feel comfortable with, and they won't even respond to him. But she's gonna respond to me on no one.
Yeah, because she thinks she's more powerful than you. It's all about.
By the way, she got dunked on. Like no one. What I wanted to say, I think what I said was actually better because everyone was like, "Yeah." When I was like, "Oh look, you're mad about me criticizing you. That's weird because that's what you're saying that you should be able to do." Yeah, but I'm doing it to you, and you're getting mad. What I want to say was because she just requote tweeted my tweet.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
to try to get her followers. Yeah, to try to get her followers after me. No one did, by the way. I got more followers, so thank you. And then and then. I'm like, you're trying to dunk on me. You got 5 likes out of this.
Yeah.
Because no one likes you. Like, no one gives a shit about you.
Dude, there's so many women in comedy. Not female comedians. I want to make that clear. But there's women that book things in comedy in this scene. I feel like they had a really bad fucking experience at a school dance when they were 12. And now we'll have to fucking pay for it. And like, they've done clicky things. They've done, like, they treat the comedy scene like it's a fucking high school dance. Yeah. And I'm so sick of it. And it's like, dude, there's no comedy scene right now, and you're still trying to like be like, oh, Big J's not cool. We're cool, and we like shitty comedy. I know comedy because I ain't fucking like I book a bar show.
And the worst is like, did you watch Seth Simon's comedy?
He did comedy. I thought he just.
He did comedy.
Okay.
Comedy.
I thought he was just like a writer who was like, I'm gonna like go after comedians because
he has everybody calls him a bird poet. He does this bit where he just goes, I wrote a poem called Bird, and he just starts calling into the mic. I'm like, wow, it's so fucking high level comedy shit, dude. What's way funnier than anything Big J says. Like, shut the fuck up.
Dude, and here's the thing about reporters that go after comedy. I'll just say, like, look, I'll say this. Okay, like, if the Brian McCallum thing, if it's true that he did rape these women,
Right.
And that's something that you should investigate. And same
Right.
thing with Crystalia. If Crystalia is messaging 16-year-old girls, then yes, you should investigate that. But if you're gonna be like, oh, Shane Gillis said chink on a podcast, who gives a fuck? Like that's like, dude, why don't you look into serious things going on in the world? Like you should use your instead of sitting listening to 90 Shane Gillis podcasts, go like fucking investigate
So,
some
by the
real
way,
shit.
these people are legitimately mentally ill. I've never binge listen or watch something I hated just so I could talk about it. You know what I
Dude,
do? I don't watch or listen to that thing.
I'll never forget. I did the Altoona room with Alan Fuchs. We did I don't have Altoona's a drive.
Altoona's a drive for me, dude.
Yeah, that's a drive.
Yeah.
On the way back, you put on Legion of Skanks, and I like all these guys, and I was like, I want to fucking listen to this. Put on music. Like I don't want to fucking listen to this. He goes, "What? You don't like them?" I go, "No, I love them, but I don't want to listen to it."
Right.
And I liked them. So
Right.
I just can't. Yeah, I can't picture like Shane Gillis gets on it live. Like, well, I'm gonna go sit and listen to his podcast for fucking 12 years.
It's crazy to me. It's a legitimate mental illness, and like the fact that like especially like Lewis, Dave, Jay, they don't even start the fights. And I know we're on Twitter, Jake Flores would be like, "Fucking Legion of Skanks sucks." It's like you are trying to ride their coattails so hard. It's like it's crazy. It's like
yeah, dude, I did Keith and the Girl, and they were real fucking nasty to me, and I got banned from Caroline's because of something I said.
Right. I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah,
when you came, right. Yeah, when you came out to do my show. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were really negative. They were really nasty. I don't talk about them ever. Every now and then, like I blocked. They had their fans kind of really be nasty towards me. I blocked them, and because I'm not like I don't need to debate these people. Like oh you're this, you're that. Okay, first I have my own house in Queens. I'm doing good in the stock market. I'm doing better than half these fucking losers.
Yep.
So I don't need to debate them. That's the thing. Like Jake Flores, if you think if you're doing better than the Legion of Skanks, why even acknowledge them?
Right. It's like, dude, you deliver pizzas, bro. I do comedy full time. You don't. Like
I found out about Keith and the Girl's like private life, and they're fucking pathetic people. Like,
of course.
But I'm not gonna like fucking go on and on about it. I just fucking blocked them. They asked, I said, I don't want to do the show ever again. Leave me alone. And I fucking did my regular podcast.
There's this fucking awful woman in the Philly comedy scene. I won't say her name. I don't want to give her any power, right? So I won't say her name. But everybody who's listening to me who is in the Philly scene knows what I'm talking about. She also. The most woke white liberal chicks are always somehow the most racist people. So like she has a problem with like every single male black comedian in Philly. Like she had a problem with, and under the guise of protecting them, she's had a problem with me. Right. So like me and Neil on our podcast, we do our show live. We are two comics trying to make each other laugh in the moment. We were making Anne Frank jokes. She finds out about it. By the way, not even anything crazy. Just like fucking hacky Anne Frank. Like honestly, nothing crazy. And then like she finds out about it, writes this whole thing on Facebook, and then no one gave a shit.
No one cares.
like she's trying to get me canceled, and know what happens? Again, I get more followers and more downloads out of it.
In the Aladdin episode, I said what you call it? So I think the guy I had on said, "Do you like Miley Cyrus?" I go, No. She was better when she was Hannah Montana. That's when she was hot, and she's not hot now. I don't think she's hot now at all. But I said, if anyone ever replays this when I get Saturday Night Live, I own it. Go fuck yourselves. I said it.
Well, that's the thing. And again, like we were just being goofy. Nothing even crazy, fucking dark. And it's just like, and it's like no one cares about you because if you give these people power, that's when. Yeah. So like what they wanted was us to apologize, and we just didn't even acknowledge it.
That's my one thing with Legion of Skanks. I wish they wouldn't always have these people on the podcast. Like, so they'll be like, well, come on the show and debate me. Like, no, stop giving these people attention. I only know Jake Flores because Luis Gomez tweets about him so much.
Same.
Have me on the fucking podcast. I got a lot to talk about. Why are you having this guy on that fucking shits on you all day long and talk about him?
Same.
It's like, literally, like, yeah, I don't know.
No, because I would like, because you know what it is? It's exposing their bullshit that I want to see.
But also, like, it gets them more followers and stuff, even if it's hate followers.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I guess there's pros and cons, right, of everything. That's kind of what it is. It's like pros and cons.
Hey, just so you know, this is episode 52. This is the one when this comes out. I think this will come out in September. This is it was the 25th. So this is the 1 year anniversary of the podcast, dude. So I want to thank you.
Oh shit.
For being the anniversary guest.
Fuck, thank you. Thanks for having me as the anniversary guest.
Guys,
when in September does this come out? Because I could
Uh,
plug the Fifth Borough Comedy Festival, maybe. Because I'm doing that.
Okay, so hold on. Let me check this out because I recorded in advance because this podcast is kind of evergreen. Let's see. So this Friday is Princess and the Frog. The 4th, the 18th.
Damn it. No worries. But I am doing the Fifth Borough Comedy Festival September 8th through 13th.
Okay. Well, if anyone wants to go back in time,
Go back in time. Go listen to my
you
sets.
doing anything in October?
Not yet.
Okay. Guys, first of all, if you've been listening for a year, thank you so much for listening. Thank you. The audience has grown a lot since I got into the 90s, so that's good. But thank you so much for listening. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, you're a fan of Adam's podcast, and you're tuning in, and you're a fan of Adam, or if you're that woman and you hate listening to get me and Adam in trouble, but you do like Disney or Wreck-It Ralph or video games, I've done an episode about every Walt Disney animated film from Snow White up to this movie. Please check out our archive. Every episode has a different comedian that you're gonna fucking love. So we get to know the comedian just like I did with Adam. We get to talk about everything going on in the world, and actually this podcast, Adam, this has been such an interesting year to do a Disney podcast with comedians because when the year started, everyone was optimistic. Everyone had goals in mind. And it's such a funny podcast to be interviewing comedians. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in my career. And then go into like happy-go-lucky Disney films. It's been such an odd fucking journey.
I know. It's like, that movie was good. I don't know if I'm ever going to work as comedy again, but that movie was fun.
Yeah, I had plenty of time to watch Pocahontas because everything that I've ever done was canceled. So
yeah, that's why when you're like, hey, watch Wreck-It Ralph again, I was like, I think I'll find time.
Watch the commentary track too. I'll fucking take it. But anyway, and please subscribe to the podcast, Gootz's Disney Pod, on iTunes or Spotify, and follow me on Twitter, Gootz's Disney Pod, and follow me, Ray Gootz, and also follow Haunted House Comedy, because you'll be hearing all about our shows all September and October, and it's a secret location in New York City. I'm not gonna tell you where, so yes, JWs can't get me in trouble. Watch Jake Flores listen to this and fucking report. Oh, you got something to say about me too? I don't even like Wreck-It Ralph. It's racist. I'm about to discussion that Wreck-It Ralph is very about systematic racism. And no one wants to... Just white privilege on.
They'll always find a way to fucking complain about something so benign,
Oh yeah. Well, dude, people are upset that what's her name was an out lesbian in Frozen 2, and I'm like, cartoon characters just not.
I know, just be cartoon character. I know, so stupid.
But then if you're like, oh, I think a cartoon character's hot, you're a weirdo. But like, you want a cartoon character, fuck that all.
Just grab it.
Just Ariel. I don't give a fuck. And Jack.
Yeah, but more just grab it. Just grab it all day. Just grab it all day.
I like Pocahontas. All right, guys. Now that I've outed myself as a creep, next week I think is a huge episode, and I still haven't decided what comic I want. Next week is Frozen. So that's going to be a big one.
Big one.
We will see you next week for Frozen. Hey, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on. It was super fun. Thank you.
See you guys next week for Frozen. Someone's going to let it go. It's not going to be me. All right. Talk to you later.